Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still playing out this bullish divergence on the 3-day time frame, the price of Bitcoin is now getting extremely close to confirming this new price pattern in the immediate short term, which will set up a new price target that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is just now confirming a new signal in the immediate short term that we also need to pay attention to, while Chainlink is now starting to avoid a potential breakdown from this price pattern. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, taking a quick look at the US stock market, because I'm recording this video basically just before the US stock market is set to open up again. And this right here, in case you're wondering, is the S&P 500 index on the 1 hour time frame, and it's set to open slightly above the previous trading day close. And we're basically now back at all-time highs for the S&P 500 index. And so obviously over the last couple of weeks or so, we saw that pullback in the shorter term, but we've now basically entirely recovered out of that pullback. We're now back at the previous highs and actually potentially starting to break into new all-time highs. Now, technically speaking, shorter term RSIs are hitting overbought, but compared to overbought in the crypto market, the RSI is not as relevant if we're talking about an indice like the S&P 500 index. And so of course, if we do start to see some bearish divergences or things like that begin to form in the coming days or weeks, that will be something to point out. But overall, things are still looking bullish, at least in the shorter term, for the US stock market. So of course, that can help crypto in the short term as always. And if we're taking a look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, right now the super trend indicator on this Bitcoin price chart is still sitting in the red, indicating a larger correction or larger bearish market on the larger time frames. And of course, on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which is still there over the last 1 day. That has not yet been invalidated. But if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin price chart on this slightly smaller time frame, we have a smaller bullish divergence, which has already confirmed over the last 1 week or so. And so far over the last 1 week, we have seen just a slight little bullish relief, obviously from the latest local low, which so far is one of the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. So we're likely going to see a bit more of a bullish relief like this, not necessarily a massive move straight towards all-time highs, but at least a slight bullish move, or at worst a sideways consolidation. That sort of price action is overall what I expect if we're talking about the next few days or possibly weeks, that sort of time frame. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, at least for now in the somewhat shorter term, the price of Bitcoin is still trading in a bit of a sideways price range, bouncing between support and resistance. First of all, we still have a lot of support at around 85 to 86,000 and a lot of resistance at around 92 to 94,000. So not a lot has changed over the last 1 day on this chart right here. And if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, obviously we can see that short-term bounce did indeed continue over the last 1 day, which is what I talked about in my last video. And while we're actually seeing this shorter term bounce, if we're zooming into specifically this area on the price chart, staying on the 6-hour time frame for the price of Bitcoin, we can now see a potential cup and handle pattern forming on the price chart. Not yet officially confirmed, but it is getting very close to possibly soon confirming. And so as we can see, we've already effectively formed the cup and most of the handle by this point. In order to actually confirm this pattern and confirm a new bullish price target for this bullish price pattern, we need to confirm at least ideally a 6-hour candle close or 4-hour candle close, etc., above this line right here, which is pretty much at exactly around 90,000. So basically we need to confirm a candle close above 90,000 on these time frames here in order to actually confirm this price pattern, confirming the breakout and setting up a new price target. And of course, that $90,000 level is a crucial level in the short term for a few different reasons. First of all, it's a psychological level. It's a big round number, so that automatically has a lot of eyes placed on that level right there. And on top of that, of course, it was previous support back here where we've seen many bounces from that exact level, and then it flipped into resistance where we have seen multiple rejections from pretty much exactly this level at around 90,000. So obviously that could once again act as resistance, keep that in mind. But then if we actually confirm the breakout, of course, in the shorter term for the following hours or days, that would be a bullish signal. And in case you're wondering what the technical price target would be for this bullish price pattern, if we first confirm the breakout, once again, I want to make this clear, not yet confirmed, but if we confirm the breakout, looking at a more conservative price target from the close instead of the candle wick to the point of the breakout, then that places a price target at around 94,500. So basically right around these highs just here. And also keep in mind, we still have strong resistance at around 92 to 94,000. So we'll likely head into that area of resistance and then struggle around there. But if we're just, for example, measuring that move from the point of the breakout at close to 90,000 to that price target at just above 94,000, that's about a 5% move towards the upside. So obviously not a huge life-changing move, but a 5% move, if you're using, let's just say, a 10x leverage long position, can turn into a potential 50% profit in that example, not financial advice. And so obviously this is a potential trading opportunity on the table right now, waiting to confirm, waiting to happen, but not yet in play. So once again, I would not necessarily open a long position right now. I would like to see a confirmed breakout and then potentially open a little long position just to trade a short-term move towards some of these price targets, like for example resistance right here, and then look to take some profits around resistance and around this price target. That's just a basic example of a trading strategy, not financial advice, but personally I have used that sort of trading strategy many times over many years in crypto. And as usual, if we confirm a breakout and then if we confirm a break back to the downside below this line right here, below the point of the breakout, in that situation that would invalidate the breakout, invalidate the pattern, and invalidate the price target. So in that situation, of course, if in the worst case scenario we confirm a breakout, we enter a trade, and then we confirm a break back to the downside, obviously in that situation would want to have a stop loss just below the point of invalidation to take a small loss and avoid further losses in the worst case scenario. And then ideally, if the trade moves further into profits, then we can move that stop loss at least towards break even, towards the entry, ideally moving the stop loss further into profits as the trade moves into profits, as an example. Once again, not financial advice, that's just a basic example of risk management. And so if you haven't done so already, this is definitely the time to get set up ready to go on a crypto exchange to take advantage of future trading opportunities here. And if you use the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, that link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the 2bit crypto exchange, which by the way is a no KYC crypto exchange. And there's currently a massive trading competition, a Christmas trading showdown happening right now over on 2bit, where there's 1 million USD in a prize pool here. And so there's a bunch of different ways that you can claim a share of this $1 million prize pool just by clicking that link below the video to 2bit and placing trades, etc. Once again, all of the information right here is that first link below this video that will take you to this page right here. So especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well check this out, take advantage of this using that first link below the video. And remember, 2bit is a no KYC exchange. But if you want another option out there, another exchange that I also use to also claim extra bonuses on, then in that situation, check out the second link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, because that second link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you can also take advantage of extra bonuses that are only available using that link. For example, if you make your account using the link below the video, complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. And on top of that, there's deposit bonuses here. If you deposit as little as 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus on your account. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take the next trading opportunity, you might as well take advantage of this, claim these bonuses using that second link below the video to Pinex. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can still see a lot of liquidity building above the price of Bitcoin, mainly just underneath 91,000. So around 90.7K towards around 91,000. We have a lot of liquidity sitting right there on the price chart. And as I've already talked about over the last few days here, usually, not always, but usually that area of liquidity, or really any massive area of liquidity, kind of acts as a magnet on the price chart, pulling the price of Bitcoin towards wherever we have a lot of liquidity. In this situation, once again, just under 91,000, around 90.7K to 91,000. So overall, that's still helping to pull the price towards that level and can potentially help assist Bitcoin with a breakout above around 90,000, which once again, in that situation, if that confirms with candle closes above that level and we hold above that level, that would confirm this price pattern and this price target. And with that being said, if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, overall the Bitcoin dominance is still trending at least slightly in the bullish direction. We don't have a significant amount of bullish momentum, but overall the Bitcoin dominance is still currently looking more bullish than it is bearish, which means overall expect Bitcoin to at least slightly outperform a lot of the major altcoins out there on average. But obviously there's always outliers when it comes to the altcoin market, but overall expect altcoins to just do a little bit worse, but still quite similar price action to whatever Bitcoin is doing in the short short term. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is potentially coming in for another retest of this resistance level that we need to pay attention to, sitting at around $3,040. So really in between around 3,000 to 3.1k. I would expect a lot of resistance around there on the price chart, which I did warn about since before we saw that latest rejection from that level. But so once again, expect resistance around this level. But if we actually confirm a breakout above ideally 3.1k, in that situation, the next resistance I'll be watching is just above 3.2k. So at around 3230 to 3250, give or take. And above that, I'd expect more resistance around 3.4k. And as for support, I'd expect a lot of support at around 2750 to 2.8k. And of course, just here on the daily Ethereum price chart, we were possibly forming a head and shoulders pattern, which would be a bearish price pattern if it confirms. Once again, I want to make it clear, not currently confirmed. And right now, we're possibly avoiding the confirmation for this bearish price pattern, because in case you're new to all of this, in order to confirm this bearish price pattern, confirming a new bearish price target to the downside, we'll need to confirm at least ideally a daily candle close below this neckline right here, below these lows, sitting at roughly around 2.8k. So we need to break below that level with candle closes below that level in order to confirm this bearish price pattern and the price target to the downside. And so once again, not currently confirmed, and right now we're actually potentially moving further away from that confirmation signal, which is good news for especially the bulls out there holding Ethereum, etc. And if we're zooming further into the short term, some other good news in the immediate short term on the 3-hour Ethereum price chart is right now the price of ETH has just officially confirmed a new bullish divergence. We have slight lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and slight higher lows confirmed in the 3-hour Ethereum RSI. And I still occasionally get some comments talking about why I'm looking at candle closes and not the actual candle wicks. It's due to the fact that by default, the input data for the RSI goes off candle closes. If you simply look at the RSI settings, for example, we could see the input data goes off source close, which means looking at the candle closes. So if we're looking at the candle close data for the RSI, we have to also look at the candle closes when we're talking about the price action. If we're looking at the candle wicks, then we have to go into the RSI settings to change for candle wicks as the source data. And so technically speaking, once again, we've just now officially confirmed a new bullish divergence in the immediate short term on the 3-hour Ethereum price chart. And as usual, the most common or most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence is either a slight bullish relief or maybe just some choppy sideways price action at worst. So overall, it is quite likely we'll continue a little bit more of a bullish relief here, especially if Bitcoin continues this bullish relief and the stock market continues the bullish relief, etc. Obviously, a lot of these markets are highly correlated to each other. So overall, a very likely scenario for Ethereum in the immediate short term is a little bit more of a bullish relief, most likely about to test some of these points of resistance along the way towards the upside. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, right now, technically speaking, the bullish divergence is still active. It is still in play for the price of Solana on the daily time frame. Obviously, we still have lower lows confirmed in the price and higher lows confirmed in the RSI. We came close to possibly invalidating the bullish divergence, but we did not yet technically confirm any invalidation signal to actually invalidate the bullish divergence. So overall, continue to expect either a sideways consolidation, choppy sideways price action, or a slight bullish relief in the coming days or possibly weeks, considering this is on the daily time frame. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, first of all, we just bounced from close to these lows right here, the previous local lows at around 118, give or take. So really at around 115 to 120, around there on the price chart, expect a decent amount of support. And as for resistance, expect some resistance potentially around 124 to 126, which we're running into right now. But if we begin to break out above that level in that situation, expect a little bit more resistance around $130. And if we break out past all of that area right there in that situation, the next significant resistance to watch out for is sitting at around 143 to 147. And technically speaking, the much larger price structure or larger trend in play on the daily time frame is still technically bearish. We've not yet confirmed any massive reversal out of this larger bearish price structure, but just in the shorter term for the coming days or possibly weeks, I do continue to expect a little bit of a break or a relief from the bearish trend, which once again can occur during the bearish trend, as we've seen it many times over the last multiple months along the way towards the downside. So keep that in mind. Those are my expectations in the shorter term, in the short to mid term, but the larger price structure not yet reversing. And something very similar can be said about XRP here on the weekly time frame, the much larger price structure is still technically not looking very good. We still have a massive bearish divergence active on the weekly time frame. So if we're talking about a period of months, for example, still not looking good for XRP, but we are holding above a crucial level of support at around $1.80. So keep that in mind. But if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, looking at the somewhat shorter term, what to expect over the coming days or possibly weeks, technically we do have a smaller bullish divergence already confirmed close to a week ago, give or take, and overall has not yet confirmed any invalidation signal to invalidate the bullish divergence. And so basically I continue to expect either a sideways consolidation like this or potentially a slight little bullish relief to continue over the coming days or possibly weeks. But remember, that sort of price action can occur in the shorter term during the much larger bearish trend that is still currently the situation. But just in the short term, do continue to expect a bit of a break or a relief from the bearish trend. And as for resistance to watch out for along the way towards the upside here, expect a decent amount of resistance at around $1.95 and major resistance in between $2 to $2.05. And if we make it past those points on the price chart, expect more resistance at closer towards $2.15 to $2.20. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, obviously over the last few days, Chainlink did get very close to possibly invalidating this bullish divergence, but overall we've not yet confirmed any invalidation signal to actually invalidate the bullish divergence. And so overall it is quite likely that in the coming days or possibly weeks, that sort of time frame, expect either more choppy sideways price action like this or potentially a little bit more of a slight bullish relief as the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. So those are still my expectations over the coming days or possibly weeks. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, we still have a lot of support at give or take $12, which we just pretty much perfectly bounced from at that exact level at close to $12. And as for resistance, expect some resistance at around $12.80 based on previous support flipping into new resistance at around $12.80, and above that expect more resistance at around $13.30 to $13.50. And if we're taking a look at this area on the daily Chainlink price chart, zooming in a little bit, we can see a possible head and shoulders pattern which was forming, but right now with the latest little bounce, obviously we're moving further away from the possible confirmation of that pattern. But remember, this pattern is never actually confirmed. It's just we were possibly getting close to confirming the pattern. And remember, if you want to take advantage of any of these trading opportunities in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade moves just like this, no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.